Hey everyone, so have you ever felt kind of trapped by the internet, locked into your social media with all your data basically held hostage by just a handful of giant companies? Well, today we're going to dive into a pretty wild new proposal from a company called Linkspreed that wants to tear those walls down for good.
Right off the bat, the folks behind this new system are not pulling any punches. They're basically saying that the internet we use every single day is fundamentally broken. It's a system that was built for corporations, not for us, and we've hit a point where something's got to give.
I mean, just think about your own online life. You've got your friends on one platform, your work contacts on another, maybe your photos and creative stuff somewhere else entirely. Each one is its own little digital kingdom, right? And you can't just pack up and move from one to the other. So the big question is, what's the alternative? What comes next?
Okay, so before we get into the nuts and bolts of the solution they're proposing, we really need to get our heads around the problem they're trying to solve. They have a name for it: digital feudalism. And it's the main reason our online lives feel so fractured and, well, controlled. It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Back in the day, feudal lords owned the land. Today, tech giants own the digital platforms. We're the users just kind of living and working inside their walled gardens or social silos. And the reality is, our digital identities, all our data, even who we're connected to, it belongs more to them than it does to us.
So how do you actually break free from these digital kingdoms? Well, the proposal starts at the most basic level, a brand new kind of address for the entire internet. It's called web4/, and it's designed to completely replace the http:// we've all been using for, 30 years now?
And listen, this is a massive shift in thinking. When you type in a regular web address today, your computer is basically asking a central server owned by a company for some information. With web4/, you're not connecting to a single point that can be shut down or censored. No, you're connecting directly into a peer-to-peer mesh of other users.
This whole thing is built on three main ideas. First, location independence. This means data isn't stuck on one server somewhere, it's found by its unique signature, which makes it way harder to censor. Second, immutable infrastructure. That just means the system itself is built on a foundation that can't be secretly messed with, so you can trust it. And finally, a native IPv6 overlay gives you super strong end-to-end encryption right out of the box. Now, all that technical stuff makes something possible that, for us as users, is maybe the most revolutionary part of this whole thing: the end of creating a new account for every single website and app we use. It's called a UID, which stands for Universal Integrated Identity Decoupled. Yeah, I know, another acronym. But the key word here is decoupled. Your identity is literally separated from the apps. For what might be the first time ever, you would truly own your digital identity. Not Google, not Facebook, not anyone else. You.
So here's how it works, and it's actually pretty brilliant. You have one core ID. They call it your digital soul. It's totally private, encrypted, and only you control it. Then, whenever you want to join a new app or social network, you generate a unique, disposable alias. This alias links back to your core ID, but the app itself learns zero personal information about you.
And this is the real payoff. This is the game changer. Because your identity is universal, your entire social graph, all your friends, your followers, your connections, is portable. So if a new, better social network pops up tomorrow, you don't have to start over from scratch. You just connect your identity and boom, your whole network comes with you. This idea of making your digital life more resilient is the perfect way to start talking about the system's security. The goal here is to create an antidote to what some people are calling the cyber pandemic. You know, that constant flood of data breaches, identity theft, and scams? It's about building an internet that basically has its own immune system.
And the difference is, well, it's night and day. We're talking about moving from a centralized, password-based world of walled gardens to a decentralized, universal, and completely passwordless internet.
This table really lays it all out. On the left, you've got the internet we have now, and on the right, the new proposal. So instead of your identity being controlled by Google or Facebook, you get a sovereign UID that you own. Instead of your data sitting on Amazon's or Microsoft's corporate clouds, it lives on a decentralized grid. And this is a big one. Instead of passwords that can be phished, you get passwordless authentication using something called zero-knowledge proofs. And maybe the biggest shift of all is privacy, which goes from being an afterthought you have to opt into to being the default setting from day one.
Okay, zero-knowledge proofs. It's a mouthful, I get it. But the actual idea behind it is surprisingly simple. It's just a clever bit of cryptography that lets you prove something is true without having to reveal the secret information that proves it.
Here's the absolute perfect example.
Imagine you need to prove you're over 21 to get on a website. Today, you might have to upload a picture of your ID, which is crazy. With a ZKP, your device can just send a little mathematical proof that says, yep, the birthday tied to this identity is more than 21 years in the past without ever revealing your actual birthday. The website learns only what it needs to know and nothing more.
This system is also designed to be future-proof. It's built to resist attacks from quantum computers that could break today's encryption. And maybe best of all, it's meant to be simple for us humans. No more trying to remember or hide those super complex seed phrases. The goal is an experience that's as easy as using your fingerprint or Face ID.
So when you zoom out from all the tech, all the acronyms, what you're really left with is something much, much bigger. It's really a philosophical vision for a totally different kind of internet.
The people behind this aren't just framing it as a slightly better version of what we have. No, they're positioning this as a fundamental shift in power, a declaration of independence that gives control back to the users, to the digital citizens.
And that brings us to this final quote, which I think just perfectly sums up the whole ambition here. The goal is to change the internet from a bunch of places that corporations own into a foundational protocol that we, the people, own together.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Is this the real deal? Is this a workable plan for a freer, more secure, and user-owned internet? Or is it just another beautiful utopian idea in a long line of them? I guess only time will tell. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.